I'm nervous. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I feel nervous like the first episode that we
Yeah, I feel like it's been a
we haven't done
while.
it for so
Hi,
long.
guys.
All right. 3,
Oh,
2.
go.
Oh, was that it?
Nah, go again.
Okay. We can leave it all in. Who cares?
Okay,
No,
whatever.
why not?
Go again.
We're our own bosses, Sean.
That's true.
Welcome back to the Young Crumbs podcast. My name is Michael.
My name's Sean.
We're back. We're both double vaxxed. We are
It's been 3 months.
3 months or so. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Not really sorry. You know, we got to look out for our families and
We got...
each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
So...
Also, so many topics now.
Yeah, I know.
Right when we were out of ideas.
Episode 67.
If anything, this global pandemic was great timing.
This is great timing.
I've never said there's a better time for a global pandemic, and now we're in it. Well,
You wished for this, Michael.
yeah.
You were that one person that
Sorry,
wanted
guys. It is my fault.
No, it wasn't
The
bad. It
whole
wasn't bad
situation.
before we were doing it. We weren't running out of topics, but now we just have 3 months worth of topics, which is ridiculous.
I've got some sketch ideas, which I'll bring up later.
So for anyone who wasn't aware, we were in a lockdown, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone that listens
In it.
was also in a
Yeah,
lockdown
I think we
as
have
well.
2 international listeners.
Yeah, for our 2 American listeners, we apologize. Apologize. We were flexing how cool we were that we didn't have to go into a lockdown for very long, and then we went into one for 3 months.
Good old Delta came,
Yeah.
and because Australia sucks at getting vaccines out, we got hit pretty hard.
Hit pretty hard.
Mainly Sydney. Oops, something's happened. Oh no, never mind. It just froze the recording.
Yeah, but
and
we're
so-
both vaxxed now.
Yeah, fully vaxxed.
Everything's opening up in a week.
About a week. Yeah.
Like hospitality and all that kind of stuff.
So I figured we'd jump back on the podcast now.
We
that-
thought, hey, what was that thing we used to do? Like, I forgot what it was called.
I swear I used to talk to you like at least once a week for an
Did
hour.
we record it? I don't remember. We may as well record it just in case we used to.
The Young Dumbs?
Yeah, I think it was something
I think it's
like
called
that.
the Young Dumbs.
We even forgot the password to the Instagram. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I still have it, but I just haven't been on it in a while.
Yeah.
But it's good to be back, you know? I miss all of our friends and fans and millions, the
all the
millions
interactions.
of people. The millions of people that used to talk to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's lockdown been for you?
It was super long but super short at the same time.
It was like easy?
It was easy.
Yeah.
It was just quick like that, but then I just can't recall anything significant happening within the
It
last
does
3 months.
feel, it's kind of like all a mush of a mush of memory. Like I don't really remember anything specific. I've been doing online learning because I'm a teacher and we've
You're a teacher?
moved online.
Nice.
And it's just a nightmare. Like you'd much rather be at school.
Yeah.
As soon as we go back, we're basically just doing practical work.
Have you heard any
Not doing any
news
theory.
about when you guys are going back? October?
Yeah,
Mid-October?
I think it's week 2. Week 2 this term, which is like 14 days or so. Around then. So it'll be good to see all the faces again, see all the kids. It's
back to work, eh?
yeah, basically just going straight in the workshops. We're not doing any theory with them. We're just they've missed out
because they've missed out. Yeah.
Just been doing theory at home.
That would be the most exciting subject to do because you can't really do that at home. So it'll be like, sweet, would work.
It is hard. Like we've been doing things like sending elastic band cars home and like making them make projects at home with their own like craft material stuff they'd find in their recycling bin. But you know,
there's only so much of that you can do.
A few little projects made out of VB cans and stuff like that from their parents.
Don't drink it.
No.
Make sure
I
they're
promise,
empty.
sir, I did not drink this. It was my dad.
Good.
It's like,
Good job.
Didn't know I was teaching a pussy.
Wow. Are you promoting underage drinking?
They're
Michael?
in year 7.
Michael's a changed man.
Yeah.
This 3 months have hardened him up.
You seen Mad Max Fury Road? That's Australia now.
We actually, it's a disaster. I don't know how we're recording this. Michael's house burnt down.
No.
Yeah, lockdown was all right. I just went in. I finished uni like pretty much a week in, and then I couldn't get a job because everything closed. So then I was working at my grocery store that I'd always been working at and seeing my girlfriend, and it was just a loop of that.
Grocery
weeks
girlfriend.
On weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
You're at the grocery store
Weeks.
getting groceries,
And then she
you go
also
home
comes.
and eat that booty like
Yeah, like the groceries that I work at. Something like that.
I've just been working.
Yeah, look,
from home.
it was alright.
I've left the house. You try to get out, go for little
the
walks.
thing is, I've forgotten what normal life was like. You know what I mean? It's getting to the point now where you can start booking things in and going out, and it's like, that's weird.
Like holiday rentals are starting again.
Even just like booking your local pub. Like we haven't, I don't know. I hadn't seen you in like, what, 2 months? We went like skating once. There's still like a long list of my friends that I still haven't seen.
Still haven't really seen.
It
really, I noticed like it's almost towards the end of lockdown, kind of like that back half of it, that I started really thinking, I should like catch up with people.
Yeah,
you know, and like
it's like, okay, now I can.
Now I miss them. It took a while. Like I'm usually pretty fine with like most of my friends. I don't have to have that constant interaction with them. Like when you see each other after 6 months, it's like you never even spent time apart, kind of thing.
Constantly be there.
But towards like halfway through lockdown was when, for me at least, it was like, I'm pretty keen to see some faces.
Getting kind of lonely.
Yeah. Well, I sat in a park last night with my girlfriend Lyndall and a couple friend, like a friend couple of ours. Yeah. Ollie from uni, who I met, and then his girlfriend or whatever. But
hi, Ollie.
We just sat there for hours in the park from like
as you do
3 to I think 7 at night. It was dark. Like,
cool.
It was like 8 o'clock when we packed up.
Just so many things.
Yeah, sitting in the rain under a gazebo.
How cute.
Yeah.
Nice.
But like, you just do those things. You got to stay sane. Speaking of staying sane, I've been going for a walk in a cemetery. So
what the hell? Because a mate of ours messaged me and he goes, "Is Michael all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." He's like, he just messaged me and asked about like cemeteries.
Just thinking about death,
So why were you walking through a cemetery?
No, so my girlfriend lives in Sutherland, which has
close to the
a big cemetery in it. Cemetery, whatever you want to call it.
What do you say? I say
cemetery.
I say cemetery.
Cemetery, I don't know, whatever. But it's got a really big cemetery and it's big. Like it's big. It's big, like to the point where you can walk in it and not really hear cars around you.
Yeah,
like it feels empty. You're just kind of like in this big open area.
So why did you go? Let's walk through there.
Well, I just went for a walk to get a coffee one afternoon.
Cool.
And I was just like, I'll just keep walking. Ended up in the cemetery, and I was just walking through after it was raining, so it was empty. There's no one out there because
you're walking in the rain in a cemetery.
No, it had just finished raining.
Oh, okay.
And it was the most peaceful thing ever. Dead silent.
Silent. Nice.
It's the dead center of Sutherland.
Nice.
Hey.
Dead. Everyone's dead there.
Yeah, it's pretty busy though. People are dying to get in. Anyways. But yeah.
I've missed your
so
jokes,
peaceful.
Michael.
But I tell you what, the reason I was messaging our mate was because he's half Chinese.
Yep.
And I tell you what, man, the Chinese and the Greeks, any Orthodoxes, they really know how to die in style.
Yeah, why is that?
Their tombstones
way bigger,
so grand, so like expensive, like smooth marble, like gold writing and lettering.
Well,
like,
they have
so fancy. It's the biggest thing for them. I don't know much about like how they view death or whatever. I don't know what that was.
A book just fell down off the shelf, mate. Okay. We're being haunted by the people in the cemetery. Oh, God.
But yeah, the Chinese too, because I saw a lot of like crosses on the Chinese ones, and I messaged him. I was like, are many people religious in Chinese? I thought they were all Buddhist.
Are they?
And it turns out there's a few Muslims.
Yeah, they are. But
a lot of Muslim Chinese. Yeah. But then
they get shunned.
They're in concentration camps, basically.
Greek deaths, they have a funeral, then they have a celebration after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year.
Wow!
Since the person died.
That sounds like just a lot of.
It's a lot of
even more reasons to get back together as a family.
It's just an excuse to see your friends and family. You know?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I learned that. I was like, that's cool.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of...
Yeah, what if you have two people die
I know.
a year and they're a month and a half apart?
Yeah. I gotta go again.
What's this weekend? Funeral again.
Bit of 3 months. It's obviously for remembrance and stuff, but
they know how to die in style.
Why were you able to do a cemetery?
It was just peaceful.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
I thought it's all locked up, but I don't think you can just walk in there.
It's like a public space.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if your relative's dead body there, I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can just go in. Some of them have a lot of them too have like a space. It's like a double bed size, but only one side is occupied. And the other one's free with no writing for obviously like the other partner. So it'll be like a husband that's died.
And they're waiting for
the spot is free for like the wife that will, eventually die or whatever.
That's terrifying.
And then they put them next to each other.
Yeah.
Which is just so bizarre. Like you reunite them in death kind of thing.
It's cute, but that's really scary knowing where you're going to lay rest for that's a bit weird. For eternity. Weird. That's really strange.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, hey, this is where we're going to bury you, I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to know.
But it also got me thinking, because it's not uncommon for people to not move on from their loved ones after they die, but you might find other love So do you die with your new partner, or do you go back to your old partner? Or do you just leave them alone, which is even worse?
That'd be horrible.
Or threesome.
Or you hook them up with another lady who died single, and then you put them in there and just pretend
all
that
next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. Have you thought about being cremated or buried?
I think I want to be cremated.
Yeah, okay.
I was talking to Lyndall the other day about it. And
who's Lyndall?
Just a girl I know.
Okay.
And I said I want like a public cremation, like in Star Wars, where they just put them on the pile of sticks and burn them.
Nice.
But
nice. And they shoot an arrow?
Yeah, she's not for it. Yeah.
That's cute.
They were joking yesterday. Yeah, you could do it like the Vikings do it.
Yeah, and they'd like burn you up.
I think that would be the coolest way to go.
I reckon that would be the coolest way to go. I wouldn't want to just get like just down into the dirt.
No,
Light me up.
I think it sounds weird. The idea of just rotting in the ground sounds worse to me.
I'd rather just be lit up. You know? lit.
Position my corpse with like a peace sign and then just light me on fire,
with a backwards
please.
cap on.
Yeah. They throw you in like a furnace. It's like a blast furnace, basically. Yeah. Like 1,000.
No, they just cook you over barbecue. Just slow cooked. I want to be slow cooked and.
Did you ever on Reddit? There was there's a famous story on Reddit that's like there was a guy who had a bit of his leg removed, because of an accident.
I think we've talked about this, but say it again.
He asked to keep the part of him that had to be like amputated, and they're like, "This is a bit of a weird request, but I think people have a right to their body, so it is your leg. You can choose to keep things if you want." And he decided to have it because he's like, I want to see what human flesh tastes like. And he invited some friends around. And he cooked it. And they all tasted a bit of his leg that had been amputated, which is just like, I don't know.
That's so weird. I fully understand the thinking.
I completely understand the curiosity. Yeah. And to be honest, if I found in that situation and it was a friend that I knew pretty well and they were fully comfortable with it, I'd probably try some, to be honest.
Look, I'd be a bit curious. I might throw up afterwards, but like that curiosity would get me. Or but like, what's it like throwing your own leg on the barbecue? You know what I mean?
You feel pain? You
know did you put a little bit of... Did you put... Ow!
You know when lizards' tails fall off, it wiggles?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
It's like its toes start moving.
It starts moving.
But like, did you throw a little bit of like, you know...
Do you season it?
Like seasoning, a little bit of barbecue, like pout, you know. It's like those videos with the meats where they like slow cook it and they like flip it over.
They get the bone and they're carving it off the bone onto the plate.
But I would be curious though. I'd be very curious.
Yeah, there's a bit of curiosity
because once you cut it up, it's got a bit of like thing on it. You wouldn't know, like it doesn't look like.
And it's not exactly unethical because it's your body.
Like your body, it's your leg, you grew it. Yeah. You know? At least you have the right to that.
You put in the hard work.
Speaking of which, so you got your tonsils out.
Yeah, just recently. I'm about a week and a half post-op.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird. There's like, yesterday actually, I was eating some chocolate. You know when chocolate like kind of gets through your mouth and you kind of suck your like...
It's sticky. It's sticky.
And you try to get it all on your tongue so you can swallow your saliva weirdly.
Correct.
Sounds weird, but I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I couldn't do it. Why? When I do it, you might be able to hear this in the mic. Maybe
Please
not.
stop making that noise.
But that's very disturbing. I'm trying to make that suction, but because there's no tonsils there, I can't get a seal in my mouth, and the back, like the air in the back of my throat, doesn't allow me to get the suction. And so now I think
everyone listening to this right now is like trying to like swallow their saliva weirdly. I don't even know what my tonsils are.
They're just behind like your kind of jaw. So where your jaw ends, like your back teeth kind of thing. There's like a little wall, and then behind those are your tonsils.
Okay,
it's a little bit behind, or like in line with like the dangly bit.
And you had some weak ones that you took out.
Yeah, I was always getting tonsillitis, so I had got them removed.
Yep,
and it's pretty rough for a week. I just stayed on liquids, lost a bit of weight, I think.
So I told you, I asked you, you didn't keep them?
No, I didn't even think about it until you messaged me, and I was like, "Fuck, I probably should."
Look, it's yours. You know what I mean? I'd at least be curious to see what they look like.
I don't think tonsils are good eating, Sean.
No, I wouldn't eat them, but I'll say, like, I was telling you, put it in a jar or something.
Next to
keep it around.
Yeah, okay.
It's a part of you know what I mean? If I had my arm shot off in a war or something, I'd probably keep the arm if I could get access to it.
Big test tube or something?
Yeah, like, have those, like, hot dogs and they like put, like resin, they did like it sort of seals it. Like do that with the arm or the tonsils.
Yeah, and it doesn't go off. It just kind of sits there. No, it just sort of sits there
because it's not exposed to air.
That would be funny.
You could do that.
Funny. I went to I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but I went to like a body exhibition museum that's like a traveling one. So these human bodies.
Oh yeah,
from like the 80s or whatever. They kind of like take out parts of their body and then
they show it to you.
They basically dehydrate it and then like put resin into the human cells and it like solidifies the body. So it's like a real arm, but it feels plasticky. And they put them on display as like a show of the human body. And it's like, there's all these like dissections and stuff like that.
You know what I mean?
Real strange. Like it was weird going there and seeing it. It's very quiet because you kind of have like, you kind of pay respects to the people that.
Yeah, it's like a museum.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there was a bit of controversy because apparently they were prisoners of war, but I wasn't. But
they were?
I don't think they were.
That's even worse,
I think they said that were, but I don't think it actually was.
Okay.
Yeah.
They said that? The people, the owners of the museum?
Other people were saying it about the museum, but then the museum's like, no, it wasn't. Sorry.
Well, people can donate their body to science. But I don't think I'd want to do that.
You wouldn't do it?
Nah. I wouldn't want some like first year university student cutting up my body. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what most of the bodies for science go to.
Yeah.
Like, cadavers.
Yeah, cadavers.
They become cadavers for like med students and things like that. I was
talking to a friend and then she's like, yeah, like, you know, I'm doing something with a cadaver. I'm like, what's a cadaver? She's like, oh, it's a dead body. And I was like, what? You're cutting up a dead body?
Pretty crazy.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that's so weird. So weird.
I think people don't understand what when they're like working with cadavers, what they're actually doing. They're kind of like just like dissecting and inspecting muscles.
It's all for something. They're not just doing it for fun.
Yeah, they're not just playing around with them.
Like we mucked around with like a cow heart, I think, in high school, and that's about as far. Not that freaked me out. But when it's a human body,
we did frogs too. Human body would be strange.
Like I remember seeing, I think it was a Reddit post of someone who was holding a human brain. And they were like got really freaked out because that's somebody's whole life like in your hands.
Their consciousness.
Like it's a whole person that's living, which is really, really weird. And what do you want? This?
Yes, please.
No worries, bruh. Your tonsils are flaring up a bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just a bit weird. Yeah, but you know, lockdown's all right and it's over. Yeah, I'm so excited for everything to go back to normal.
I was kind of fortunate that I was able to get my tonsils out during this time because now when I come back, I can just go on crazy nightclub benders and not get sick because I got no bad tonsils anymore.
That's how it works. If you lose your tonsils, you don't get sick. I'm like, why would you get COVID vaccine when you could just get rid of your tonsils and you don't?
Exactly. I'm actually quadruple projected now.
Guys, come on. Stop being stupid.
You only have the vaccine?
I also removed my tonsils in case.
Ain't no germs getting caught on those bad boys.
No way.
Just go straight down my throat.
Straight down your throat. And then they just go somewhere else.
The tonsils are meant to act as kind of like a filter, but mine don't. They just kind of hold germs instead of filter them.
You don't have a filter now, do you?
No. I'll say anything.
No.
I'll offend any demographic, sure.
Oh, God. You don't give a fuck.
Greeks, they died.
They died. Cemeteries? Boring. Am I right? Lame.
This is another thing about the cemetery, right? It is so much land.
Oh, it's huge.
There is so much space in there that I think lay waste to the way we treat the dead. Don't bury them anymore. You know,
cremate only,
and just give them back to the family, and then they can do whatever they want with the ashes. Don't put it somewhere, because I genuinely think maybe 50 years is like the life on any tomb.
Yeah,
any spot in a funeral. Yeah. But no one will visit it anymore.
No.
I don't know the people that died 50 years ago in my family.
That's horrible.
And I might only visit them if, say my mum was to pass now, I might go visit her when I'm 70.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the show, like, people aren't going to be remembering a grave that's 100 years old. And there's some there that are like died 1926, and you can see that no one tends to these graves anymore. And you're just like, what are we doing wasting all this land? We could build a nuclear reactor. Or we could,
of dead bodies.
A pool even.
You know what?
You probably don't want to
melt me down and turn me into some bricks or something. I'd happily.
Exactly. I want a house made of
someone's house.
I want a house made of bone.
Yeah, bone house.
Bone house.
Nice.
Or a chair. Oh.
You know what? That could be a good business.
The ribs of a human body could make like a good backing of a chair. I reckon.
Maybe you could pay someone. So pay like their relative. So when that person dies, you get the body and then you use it to build something.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting money on material.
Let me write this down.
That right there ideas. Is a really imagine that like a sci-fi TV show or something.
Yeah.
Where like a big business, because the world's run out of resources, so they use dead bodies as like their way of building things, and then there's like an ethical thing. Bro, that's really smart.
Like
I'm switching on up here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Let me write it down in my business ideas book.
But, it's a long list, that business idea book.
Linda, I was talking about it with Linda, and her favorite, or not her favorite, sorry, her idea of death is cremation.
Yeah.
And then she wants to like be put under a seedling of a tree.
Cute.
And then so like the tree becomes like her.
Wow.
Yeah. And then she said, this is like a romantic film idea that like
burn the tree down.
She dies young, and I wait till I'm old, and then I cut the tree down because some developers want to use the land, and I'm like, but my tree's there. That's my girlfriend, and then I'll protect my tree. Okay, no, it's a film idea, and then I'm like, well, fine, I won't let you bulldoze it. I'll cut it down myself, and I get my axe out and I cut it down, and I make a beautiful piece of furniture as like with Lyndall's tree body.
What the hell are you guys talking about? Chop it down.
Anyways.
Imagine just like cutting it wrong. Oh shit, I've run out of wood. Oh, just throw in something else. Just pretend it's a... Sorry, Lyndall. I'm not as good as a woodwork teacher as I thought.
There's like a different species of timber there, and Lyndall's like, who's this bitch?
What are you doing?
You seeing someone else?
You seeing someone else? Anyways,
good times.
Interesting.
You had some holidays planned.
Well, last episode
for this lockdown.
The last episode we were talking about, because we were technically in a lockdown last episode.
Yes.
But we were like, it's a bit, because it was a bit loosey-goosey. It was like, you're only allowed 5 people over. And it was like, all right. Yeah. But then the reason we stopped so quickly was because that weekend, I remember I was here with you at your house. And then the next day, that's when Gladys said, that's it. Like, we're properly locked down. You're only allowed this many people out. Like, you're allowed like one person over or whatever.
I had actually some friends over, I think, that night.
It was me. I was there.
Yeah, you were here. Yeah, your friends. Yeah. You're also included in that.
We're acquaintances.
Group.
We're not friends. Yeah.
But we got like the news that afternoon, and we're like, oh, well, let's have like one last little gather.
Because at that point, we were allowed 10 people over, and it was sort of like slowly going down. And I remember at that point, there was like, and like you were saying, I had snow trips planned. We were playing soccer. Life was great, Michael. Life was so good.
At its peak, one might say.
It was.
Yeah.
I was playing lots of sport. Soccer was good. Had a girlfriend. Things was great. Things are great.
Yep.
Hanging out with Michael, my best buddy. And then it all just went tumbling down. Everything.
It was legit a matter of like a week.
Gone.
It went from like...
Soccer finished. No, we came second.
You got cancelled.
All my snow trips I had to refund my season pass. I didn't even get to go once. Yeah, Michael. I know it's first world problems, but it was very sad. And what were we saying? Yeah. So the Airbnb. All right. So let me paint the picture for you. We had...
This is one of your snow trips, right?
One of these snow trips we cancelled, but at this point, like the lockdown was only like meant to last for like a month. So we were like, oh sweet, we'll go after. But then obviously it got extended for 3 months. So we rebooked it for another time, and then it got extended again, so we had to cancel it. So I messaged the girl, and so one of these houses I messaged, and the policy is you only get 50% back, but obviously I was like, look, it's COVID, and they're like, oh, it's cool, we'll give you 100% back, and that's what the host says, because the host decides what the refund is. Okay. So then this other girl, I messaged, I'm like, hey, I got to refund it, sorry. This was like 3 weeks before we were meant to go. Sorry, I got to cancel. COVID, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Approves it, only get 50% back.
Right.
And then I'm like, can I get 100% back? Like, this is completely out of my hands. No reply at all.
Just
for like a week. Just completely ignored me.
Okay.
I messaged Airbnb themselves, and I was like, look, this is ridiculous. This isn't even, like, I had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, right.
And then they still... They just said, oh, no, sorry, it's not, we can't do anything. That's just what she approved. So we all, it was a group of like 10 guys, and we all lost like $100 each or something.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but like,
yeah.
Luckily, everyone's like okay during COVID. But if someone like had lost their job and was unemployed, you know what I mean? And had some things to do, and then $100 is probably a lot of money.
I wonder how.
I was so angry, and we can't do anything, and I can't leave a review because I didn't stay there.
Oh,
How
do you
annoying
have
is
to
that?
stay somewhere to leave
You have
a
to stay there
review?
to leave a review, yeah.
Oh.
As far as I know.
It's just one of those things where
I want
it's
to pull up a name and be like, if you see this, don't even try.
Don't book it.
Because imagine leaving that review. Oh, you know, this girl, we
Yeah.
booked a house and then she didn't even give us 100% back because of
because
COVID.
of
You know what I mean?
I think it's also like,
Just be careful out there, guys.
I don't know.
You know?
I think I often think like, I remember in America there's a bit of a rent cost crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
Like rent was like doubling all across America for some reason.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of like news articles or like fake news articles where it's like the upper class who owns 6 properties complaining that people can't
they're
pay
not getting
rent.
their money. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, you're the guys that are on top here.
You have millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's like we're the renters. Like, imagine how we feel. We can't even afford the rent. Whereas, like, not being not affording to be paid the money is very different to like not be affording to like.
Yeah.
But like these people, this is obviously probably a second property for them. Pretty big if it can house 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think they're exactly doing it tough.
No.
You know what I mean?
Super nice house because that's the only type we stay.
Yeah, it just seems silly. But I guess if it's Airbnb's policy to only have to give back 50%.
Well, it's so the host gets to
then
choose
it's
what
hard.
like the refund policy is.
Right.
And then and then the worst part was like if she just messaged me and just went, look, I have to take 50% because like this is my only income. Like,
Yeah,
then
something
fine.
like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Keep it. But the fact that she ignored me for weeks.
Yeah,
was just like,
leaves a bad taste,
Leaves
doesn't
a
it?
bad taste, yeah.
I
Because
know
there's
what
an
you mean.
easier way to sort this out. Like, I'm a reasonable guy. I understand. There's 10 of us. It's not that much money each.
Grab the boxing gloves. Get down there.
Go down with some hand grenades. Find the house. That's a bit violent. But
No. Why would you need boxing gloves? if
fake
you have
hand grenades. Just kidding.
Let me get my fake AK-47 out.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't.
Did you get
people.
the season pass for the snow?
Yeah, I did. I haven't refunded it though.
You need to refund
I've
it.
been silly because I reckon they're going to turn around at a certain point and say, no more refunds because you're too slow. And so
They probably will.
yeah, and so
Well,
I need to do it. I
a-
might do it tonight.
If there was a thing, it came in really quick for me. They just went, "Yep, cool." Yeah. The only thing you need to do is like prove where you live, and I think I did like a bank statement or something. But
Yeah, okay.
if they were like, "Oh, we'll keep your money and give you a free one for next season," I would have done that. But they haven't said anything.
They haven't said anything like that?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I'll refund it. But I think there's
free money, bro.
there's gonna be a lot of like policy changes for a lot of businesses and companies after like post COVID because it's like screwed over so many people. Like even job contracts. It'll be like, oh, like you've got this job under the condition that there's not a global pandemic. There'll be some small print on like every single agreement from here on out. That's like whether it's you're getting accommodation somewhere, whether you're applying for a job. There's always
now a big
it's going to be something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of restaurants hiring at the moment.
Yeah.
Because they're needing staff that they let go.
Yeah.
Of or like that won't come back or whatever reason. Because things were shut down. But
Businesses are going to get
pretty rough.
flattened. We were talking about haircuts before the episode started.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the biggest ones because it's been 3 months without being able to get our haircuts.
Barbers will
Us
be busy.
Boys. So you were growing out your hair,
hairdressers.
Michael, before we did this, right?
Yep.
It was like you could go back and we're talking about it. I was complaining about it.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
What do you think now that it's actually grown out a little bit and I've kind of grown into
Look,
it?
it's growing on me.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's on me, isn't it?
Nice. That's the joke I was making. Now,
It's not your hair.
that looks good right there where it's all flattened a bit and it's a bit
Yeah.
stylish.
So my-
it really is long, isn't it?
My method is like when I stand it up away from my head, it's long.
Yeah, it's long.
long.
See, what you need right now is you need to go to the barber, or the haircut, but then just tidy it. You know what I mean? Get the sideburns cleaned up, trim the back a bit, and it would look.
I need to bring the back up a little bit because it's getting a bit mullety.
You know what? It's actually I do actually like it because so you uploaded an Instagram story of you doing a boogie dance in some budgies,
Some speedos.
but
Yep.
it was like that. It was.
Yeah, it's puffy.
If people can't see what I'm doing, but it was puffy. It was an afro, proper
Not
afro.
really. That was wet hair out of the pool, and I just shook it out,
looked
and it's
ugly.
curly out of the pool.
It was disgusting.
Thanks.
But then there was one of you and Lyndall. I think you had been to the beach and it was wet, and it was like that, but the wet.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah.
So it's growing on me and it's also growing on you.
It is.
But you just need to get like just the tidy up, just a little trim in, and it would actually look really good.
We'll see.
Because sorry, you go.
I don't know what like I have in store for it. At the moment, my like end goal potentially
You want to tie it up?
is let it go down. Let it get heavier, kind of down to the shoulders almost.
Shoulders?
And trim across the fringe just above the eye. So I have like a Motley Crue, like 80s rocker queen.
Wait, so you have like
style.
A fringe, like a front fringe?
Yeah, like a front fringe, yeah.
Like bangs,
Yeah,
and
like-
also have hair going down your shoulders?
My hair's kind of like wavy curly. So it'll be like curly at that length.
Where do you come up with these ideas?
I just think it'll look like a bit of a vibe. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not there. I'm nowhere near that yet. It's probably like a year out until I'm there. But I don't even know if I'll keep growing it.
Well, look, I thought your hair was just going to go outwards. And it didn't. It sort of, because you were wearing a hat, but you sort of brush it a bit back and it gets a bit cleaned up.
It's at the stage now where I need to wet it in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
For it to look any like good, I need to wet it and I need to like flatten it with a hat.
That's all right.
Otherwise, it just stands up too much.
Yeah, I mean, short hair's... It's weird because short hair is very easy to maintain.
Yeah.
And then medium hair's hard, but then once it gets longer, it's actually becomes easier again because it sort of all just sits in the one.
Gets a bit heavier.
Gets a bit heavier, easier.
I'm not at that stage yet, though. Yeah. Anyways, as some of us may know, any returning listeners, the last few episodes of the podcast, I was doing sketch ideas.
Yes.
Now, I don't think the last episode I did any because I hadn't thought of any.
Yeah, you were getting a bit slack on the old.
Yeah, I was getting a bit slack, but throughout. Like, I've been a bit slow, but throughout lockdown, I know it's been 3 months. I don't have too much to show for it, but I have got some good ones.
Go ahead. Fire away.
So, these are the latest sketch ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The last one we had, I think, was casting agency confused when Leonardo DiCaprio turns down Ninja Turtle role.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And then also Leonardo DiCaprio confused when cast as Red Ninja Turtle. So there's two. I think that was our most recent two. Since then, I've come up with Halloween shops out of business now that masks are sold everywhere.
So what shops?
Halloween shops out of business now that masks are sold everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah, it's topical. You know?
Yeah, very funny. Nice pun.
We have man with most generic face can unlock any smartphone. I'm most proud of this one, I think, of any of them. Mary the Virgin Mother's saint title revoked after hailstorm damages.
Huh?
So, Hail Mary.
Yeah, okay, cool. Please continue with your awful sketch ideas.
I've also got $3 shops rise in popularity due to inflation.
Nice. That's a good one. I like that one.
This one's kind of fun. The new salt lamp cross dildo line of products is being recalled due to bad vibes.
Nice. I like that one. That's good.
That one, I have to give a bit of credit to Lyndall on that one because we worked on it together. It was mostly her, but I'll say we worked on it together.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah,
Please
I've got some other like ideas, but they're not fully refined.
Okay.
I'll stay silent. I'll have something.
So how many was that? 4 over 3 months?
It was like 4 or 5.
Nice, Michael.
Yeah.
Nice.
A few sketch ideas for you. Yeah. If any of you happen to be comedians, feel free.
Just
take them.
Feel free to jump in.
Just take them. Yeah.
Just take them. Yeah. TV show or something.
I want to tell you about a joke though, which I find hilarious. Norm Macdonald is a comedian.
Yeah.
He was popular from like the 80s kind of onwards.
Yeah.
It was on SNL in the 90s when O.J. Simpson's trial was on. He was very famous for like just ripping into O.J. over that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now he passed away recently. He's probably like 80, maybe like 70 or something. And he has a joke that he did on like a Conan episode once.
Yeah.
Where he says, I'm a deeply closeted gay man. And then Conan goes, "What? I didn't know that about you." And then Norm says, "No, what?" He goes, "Well, that you're gay." And he's like, "How dare you?" I'm not gay.
Is that the joke? That's the joke.
Because he's a deeply closeted gay man. So he's like, "I'm not gay." It's very funny. I highly recommend you look up the clip if anyone.
I'm laughing at your reaction to the joke.
I think it's such comedic
You
genius.
said the joke, and then I paused waiting for the punchline because I was like, "Is that it?"
Just it. It's.
I'm sure his delivery probably helped.
He's very funny. I highly recommend anyone look him up. Yeah. Also,
it's been 3 months. I miss your cute little humor. This is great.
Wow,
give it a week, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, shut up!" But I'm like, "Oh, I miss you." Continue.
I highly recommend too.
No.
Anyone who's into music. You're into music. I'm not a huge music person.
Yeah.
You might know this about me because my taste isn't
you
very
got
consistent.
some bland music.
But
I have a very hard music to listen to.
I recently went down a little YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I found a guy. There's a guy named Jacob Collier. Now he is like a musical like theorist.
Okay.
Like, I think he's like very intelligent. Like he's kind of like a prodigy, like a music prodigy.
Okay.
And so he's really like well versed in like music theory and like why things work and whatever.
Yeah.
And he does like some GQ interviews where it's like people ask him Twitter questions about it and he'll answer them and show examples. Like he's really like musically
he can read
talented.
The musical sheets and kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, not just like read music, but he's like he
crotchets.
understands like why things are good.
The crotchets.
I mean, he makes music with other artists, and he often has featured artists because I don't think he's an amazing singer. But some of his music is like the most kind of takes you on like a little journey, and it works so well together. Just because he just has that eye for like. You know, like a groovy beat and like jazzy rhythm and stuff like that.
What kind of genre is his music?
It varies because he gets a lot of like he has a lot of featured artists, and so he does stuff depending on what the feature artist works with. So he's a bit more of a producer.
Who's the featured artist he's got on there?
He's done a bit of like Ty Dolla $ign, a lot of like not huge names.
I do like Ty Dolla $ign.
Rhapsody, I don't know if you know them. Kimbra.
Yeah, Kimbra. Kimbra's good.
Daniel Caesar, Malia, Kiana Leddy, or Kiana Lede or something.
Yep.
But a few different, like Tori Kelly.
And you like them all?
I was listening to a bunch, like just randomly on his like on his thingo, the Spotify page.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are really cool. So I encourage you, like, if you can appreciate like some like kind of actual like, technically impressive music, I highly recommend Jacob Collier.
Yeah,
he's only like 27 or something, but I've seen he does like what's lectures. He does like lectures at universities and things on musical theory. Like he's very well versed in it all.
Interesting.
But yeah. What have you been absorbing in terms of content?
What have I been absorbing? It's a good question, Michael. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No movies, TV shows?
Oh, yeah, bro. Plenty of that stuff. So, I watched Loki.
Yep. We'll talk about
the only reason I watched it was because you said it's like quite important to the big Marvel sort of
picture.
thing.
Yep.
And I like the whole cinematic, but I won't get into the fine details when it's not really. That's why I haven't watched the Captain America Falcon one.
Yeah.
But I watched it and it was alright. It was pretty good.
You liked it?
I didn't mind it. It was actually pretty good.
You understood it? Like you kind of.
Obviously, I don't want to spoil it though.
Just say it. It's been out long enough.
Yeah, screw you guys. The guy at the end, well, like that bit was kind of confusing, and that's when I messaged you. I was like, "Who the hell was that?" And then you were like, "That's a guy from the music, the whatever."
Yeah.
Which makes it really cool. But you were talking about What If, the series.
Yeah.
And I really want to watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
So that's like an animated series.
Yeah, and you like that? Pretty good?
It's fun. There's some really fun episodes, and then some other like, kind of just like, this is like a comical idea, but it's not very like.
Give me one of the comical ideas. Like
so the second most recent episode is Thor is an only child.
Okay.
And so he never like battles with or like Loki like growing up.
So Loki's just not.
He never has that character development.
Yeah.
And so he's just a party frat boy, and he and he jumps from planets to planets basically, and turns them into party planets.
Cool.
And everyone dies.
Okay.
And so they got to like stop him turning Earth into a party planet.
Okay.
And Captain Marvel.
I can see how that's a bit
like
of
it's a bit like comical. And
do they all come back to voice their own characters? Or are they
not everyone? No, a lot of them do.
Like what?
Like Chadwick Boseman does Black Panther.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he came back. I'm pretty sure
dead.
Brie Larson comes back for like Captain Marvel.
Larson.
Like the cheese.
Like the cheese.
Yeah.
Larson. Something Larson. Yeah.
A bunch of them come back. Tony Stark doesn't. Steve Rogers doesn't. Like,
is it weird when you hear their voices?
Not really. They're pretty close, but they're cartoon, so you're not really expecting it.
True.
It's almost weird to hear the actor's voice.
Well, sometimes actors aren't very good voice actors. They're two very different things.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's not a bad idea.
Did you say Chris Pratt is cast as Mario?
Did you see that? And then everyone's like, what?
Everyone's losing their shit about it.
It's dumb. It's kind of dumb. He's Italian, isn't he?
Well, he's meant to be. But it makes me
plumber.
wonder if they're even going to do the Italian accent. Or they'll just make Chris Pratt his regular voice.
Are they just going to make his regular voice?
I don't know.
I think that would kill it. Like, it wouldn't be very good if it's just his...
Because
it goes, Yahoo!
There is a Mario voice actor who does all the video games and things like that.
Yeah, but does he talk a lot?
No, Mario never talks a lot.
Doesn't talk a lot.
He just kind of says, whoa!
And he goes, Yahoo!
Wahoo!
Wahoo!
When he jumps.
Yeah.
Whoop! Whoa!
Why don't they just get you to do it?
I don't know. I did apply.
I didn't hear back.
I did apply.
That's ridiculous. But that is weird. And then the whole other cast is weird too. Who's Luigi? Is it?
I don't know who Luigi is. I know Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
See, that's kind of funny.
And I know...
Because Donkey Kong doesn't speak, so it would be pretty funny if it's like his voice. You know what I mean?
And then I'm pretty sure Jack Black is Bowser.
That also works.
Which is kind of funny.
That also works.
And I think most people... Like, the other characters I don't think people care about. But I think it's just Mario. It's just like, but that's not Mario.
So you got Chris Pratt as Mario, and you got Charlie Day as Luigi. You know Charlie Day from
Always Sunny?
Yes.
That's weird.
That's also weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't work at all. You've got Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. Do you know who that is?
No, she's really good. She's from Queen's Gambit. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen that
series. Okay, she's a good actor. I'm pretty sure.
Keegan-Michael Key is Toad.
Yeah, I can see
Kevin
that.
Michael Richards, and that's all they've announced so far. Fred Armisen, Cranky Kong.
Oh,
weird. But anyways,
my favorite of the Mario characters, Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong.
Yeah,
he's terrifying.
Yeah,
he's terrifying.
That's what when you get in trouble as a kid.
Yeah,
Diddy Kong when he gets in trouble.
That's great.
Donkey Kong says, "Wait till Cranky Kong gets home," and that's
you're in big trouble.
Yeah, he's cranky.
He's cranky.
Not gonna like it.
Yeah. Look, it's weird. I don't know if they like. Do you reckon they'll recast? Like,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
They probably have already.
Are they going to pull a Sonic movie where everyone hated it and then they went back and changed it and made it look way better?
I'm not sure. When the Sonic trailer came out, everyone was like, "This is shit.
This is
what is this?" And
that poor animator has lost his job forever. That poor guy.
Yeah, I think many people might have lost their jobs.
They're like,
or they were just
they've lost it.
But I think the that movie, once they fixed up the trailer, it looked like a fine kids movie.
Didn't it? I thought it did quite well.
Yeah, I think it did. I never watched it
because I don't think we were allowed to go to the movies.
But as far as like Sonic movies go, it's kind of what I would have expected.
Yeah,
or the look of. But anyways,
well, the movies is one of the things that I haven't done in so long. Like the last movie I saw in cinemas was Endgame. That's the last movie I've watched.
I think they won't be back for a little bit.
Because I never went back when everything sort of opened up. Because I think they were like one of the last things that sort of like opened.
Yeah.
Was the movies.
Yeah. Because I think it takes a while to get cinemas up and running. Like
and then it's not worth it when you can only open up for like 50 people. You know what I mean? Like they won't break even. So
yeah. So I don't know what's going to go.
They just don't bother, which is fair enough.
Yeah. The Office.
You've been watching The Office? In
lockdown, I'm now up to season 7 or 8. Whichever is the one that Michael leaves.
I think it's 8.
Up to the second last episode of that season, because the last episode of that season is when he leaves. So
you've watched everything I've watched. After he leaves, I pretty much stopped.
Right.
Yeah, I stopped. I didn't continue.
It. I think I like the other characters enough.
It wasn't bad.
It'll be okay.
But he's just such a the big part of the show.
He's a plot device.
He's just the main character. You know what I mean? He is. So like I appreciate what they did with like other characters that are also unique and different. Like they don't try and copy him, which is what's good. But
did they write him out of the show? Or did he leave? Did he want to leave and then they wrote him out?
I don't know. I think he wanted to leave.
Right.
Because his career got boosted by that show a lot. So I think by that point he's like, all right.
He's like, it's time for something else.
Yeah. And he leaves on quite a good note on the, like... He's found
I feel quite happy for his character.
Yeah. He wasn't
good on him.
It wasn't like forcefully kicked out. It was quite good.
I tell you what though, he's a shit bloke. Like
in,
Michael, the character,
worst guy.
He's the worst. He does so much like unforgivable.
But they play with that line so like he does something really nice, and you're like, oh, he's a really good boss. But he also does something so awful, and you're like,
he's not a good person. I don't think.
The worst thing that I reckon, not that he did, but the one that I can remember the most was remember when he got set up with someone that Pam he tried to set him up with, her landlord or something. So anyways, for people who haven't seen the episode, Michael was single and he wants to get set up with like a lady, and then Pam, the receptionist, has a landlord who's single. So they set both of them up like at a coffee shop, and he's waiting for her to turn up. And then he orders a coffee and he's waiting for this lady to turn up, and she turns up and she's like, oh, like, are you Michael? And like, looking at her, and she wasn't ugly, but like, because he's a douchebag, was like, oh no, I'm not Michael. That's not me. And then and then the coffee was ready, and he goes, order for Michael.
Yeah.
And then he goes,
I remember that. Yeah.
And then that was so awkward, but like so well constructed. But like, again, another example of just
a terrible person.
Just a terrible person.
Like in the most recently, the one thing I can think of is
remember when he hit that girl with his car?
Yeah, he hits Meredith.
He's like, no one in the car was hurt. Okay. Anyways, what are you saying?
But he gets the Woody doll of Holly, his partner, in the end.
Yeah.
When she's with her partner, like she's with her partner, and he like throws a tantrum, grabs her Woody doll, just like a beloved possession of hers, throws it in the bin and pours coffee on it because he's upset that he can't be with her. Like, what kind of nice guy shit is that?
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
he's just
and then he ends up with the girl.
And then he ends up with her, so it's like, all forgiven because. Well,
remember when she moved back into the office?
He's a terrible person. I don't care what people say.
Remember when he moved back into the office and they were all investigating whether she had a boyfriend or not and stuff. Anyways, but the best scene is like when they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go give this cake to Toby." And he's like, haha, yeah, good one. Like, Toby's not here. I'm like, yeah, no, Toby's just in the other room. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he goes and sees Toby, and that's where that famous clip where he's like, no! I do. No, God, please, no!
That is one of my favourite reoccurring jokes. That's
so good.
That he just hates Toby for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favourite things. And then, like, it just random scenes, he's like, get out of here, you idiot. So funny.
There's a blooper of Michael asking for Toby in his office, and then Toby walks in and he goes, Michael, you wanted to see me? And he goes, yeah, just shut your door on the way out. It's very good.
He's not meant to be. It's very good. The best episode is the dinner party episode.
The dinner party was very good.
It's so funny.
I also liked like stress. I think it's called Stress Relief.
Which one's
it's
that
like
one?
A two-parter. The one where they all sit in a circle and talk about like the issues or something in the office. I can't remember what.
And the beach episode's really good too.
The beach episode is good. The camping one too.
Yeah, the camping one. There's lots of good episodes. I highly recommend The Office.
Yeah, anyone that hasn't watched it,
it's very easy to watch. Like it's not one of those ones where you have to concentrate. You can just like chuck it on and just have it there. It's very funny, very cool. I watched. Did we talk about Loki?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Have you been doing some DIY?
Oh yeah, okay.
Do it yourself.
This is a podcast idea.
Okay.
This is genius. All right. So the subreddit, you know the subreddit DIY?
Yeah.
So there's a subreddit where people upload really, really stupid videos of like something that someone's made that just makes no sense.
So like DIY, why would you do that?
Like DIY, why on earth would you make that?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, which would be hilarious, would get a whole bunch of those videos and I'd show them to you and I'd time you and see how quickly you can guess what they're making. Have you ever been watching, like you watch those DIY videos and you're like, what the hell is this? You're like a bottle opener? I don't know. And then it comes and you're like, oh, it's that. And then you're like, why would I want that? You know what I mean?
Or like they'll be undoing a bolt and the spanner's the wrong size.
Yeah.
And so instead of
just
getting a rat spanner.
proper spanner.
They'll chop their spanner that's the wrong size in half.
Yeah.
And then like weld
and then drill,
a
like,
bit. Yeah,
because you got to weld up, but not the correct size one.
Do some dumb shit to make it
So I was
work.
thinking that because I was just scrolling on Reddit and I saw one of these and I was like, what the hell is funny. This? And then you're like, oh, that's what it is. And that's when I was like,
the one I've seen one that's like, there's some too where it's just terrible editing. Like they clearly...
Like they're doing the hard part of it and it's cut and then it's finished.
It's finished. And it's like, I think there's one where they get 2 razors and they get a live wire from a 240 volt like
battery
wall plug.
Wall plug.
And they connect it to the razors in some water.
Yeah.
And boil tea.
I've seen that.
They call it like prison tea or something.
Yeah, and they boil up the water with the electricity, and then it's like, why on earth would anyone do that?
Also, this will kill you.
That could kill you.
It's not. This is not safe to drink. Or
it's like, would you rather? Yeah.
It's not. It's so die.
Dumb. It's like, what would you rather use that and nearly die, or would you just I don't know, go buy a kettle or maybe skip tea for that night? Anyways, that was my idea.
If there's one thing I want to do myself though, actually, this is kind of like within a year, I want to take steps to do this, which is learn a language.
Yeah.
Now, you wrote languages on this topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is where you were going with it, but I really want to learn a language, but I've never taken the steps to do it.
So, have you seen the videos on YouTube? I'd be surprised if you saw them. Actually, no, I wouldn't be.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah.
It's people that don't look like that nationality.
Yes, and he's speaking the languages.
Speaking the language.
So there's this one guy who's like very, very, I don't know, talented or whatever. And he goes to places in like New York or whatever.
Yeah.
And where they're all speaking another language.
Yeah.
And then he's
so
in there.
Like Chinatown or something.
And he's like speaking English and they're sort of like, and then he starts speaking fluent, whatever that is, like Mandarin or like, I've seen like
even
Mandarin.
Even
like
some
Indian,
stranger languages.
Just like some really like strange dialect languages. And they're all like, what? And seeing their reactions.
Yeah.
That's like, I've been watching
cool,
those.
Hey?
I'm like, that's so cool.
I think
and he like catches on. And the ones are the best where he's ordering food. And he's like, he asks us English. He's like, oh, what's this? And then they're like, oh. And then he starts going just full blown. And then the people that are near him, all like turn around and they're like, what? And they're all looking at him and he has the video camera and it sees him. I don't know who the guy is. I should probably find out. But it's so good.
I think speaking a second language
would be so cool.
Third is even more impressive.
This guy has like at least 20. Like
2 fluent languages.
But like talking fluent to the point where you can speak, like you can have a conversation. You can have a full conversation.
A full-fledged conversation is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen people do.
It's cool.
It's so cool. Our mate does it. He's
our mate of ours is
half Chinese, half Malaysian.
Friends that you're talking about. He speaks like fluent Mandarin.
And he speaks Mandarin to his mum. And they'll send voice messages to each other. And it's so strange because like you'll be hanging out with him and he'll randomly just start speaking Mandarin into his phone. And you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, but do you remember the story?
It's so impressive. Like, I think being so fluent in 2 different languages is so cool.
Well, do you remember the story about how we went to Japan with him?
Yeah.
And we were setting up our snow bags to be sent to the snow.
Yep.
And we were, so there's this service.
This is a very cool story.
What's the, what was it called? I don't remember.
They basically ship your bags.
They would ship your bags to different place in Japan. So we turned up in Japan and we had our snow stuff with us, but we weren't going to the snow straight away. So we wanted to send them to where we were staying in the snow so we didn't have to carry them around wherever we went.
Yeah.
So it was a service that did it. So we turn up to one of the places. I don't know where we were. I think we were somewhere in Osaka. And then we were trying to describe to the lady and we were like, oh, like we're going here. Like, can you send it? You know, like these 4 bags. And it was a struggle.
It was a big language barrier.
It was a struggle straight out the barrier.
Lots of details too. Things like addresses and like numbers. Like it wasn't basic like asking for a toilet. It was like trying to get across where you needed your bags to be in Japan, like geographically.
Yeah, like you have to give them a location and their like postcodes and stuff isn't the same as ours.
So complicated.
So when we look up the location where we're staying in English, it's different to...
Yeah.
So, and then a lot of people there do speak English, but like she only speaks a little bit and it was a struggle. And then our friend just went, do you speak Mandarin? In Mandarin. And then just instantly like that. And then just a full-blown conversation in something that we had no idea what they were saying. It was done. He goes, yep, cool, just like do this.
It was crazy.
thank God you're here, because like we would have just been, it could have been sent to somewhere, and we would have lost all of our snow gear. Like
surprisingly, it happened a few times too, because that was early on in the trip, and then we realized like, well, I think
his
like
ability to do that.
Yeah, well, we realized that like a fair few Japanese people do speak Mandarin, which is strange because
Mandarin's
Chinese and Japanese,
by a lot of people,
yeah, but also Chinese and Japanese people are very racist towards each other.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other very much.
Well, one of them mainly did invade the other one.
Well, many years ago. Terrible previous war crimes
and killed millions of the other one. But anyway, not saying it's justified, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, like they don't like each other really much anymore.
Well, well, that's why a lot of them speak English, not because they have, but because a lot of other people speak English. So a lot of private schools teach English as well in Japan. So that's why it was very easy for us.
It's very apart from like the Western world, it's pretty normal to take a language all through school.
Yeah, and then learn both.
Like a lot of them speak English. Like a lot of European countries, they teach English all through school.
Yeah,
to year 12 because it helps with like international relations, I guess. But over here, we have to take it for a year. I took Japanese for 1 year.
I took French for a year, and it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
No one likes taking languages in high school.
Especially when we're young. Like, we were too young to think how cool this was.
But also, you're too young to appreciate it.
Yeah, we were too young to do that.
That's the case with a lot of things.
But yeah, that was really interesting. But those videos are, like, really fun to watch. And it makes you just go, I really want to learn a language. But, like, don't not learn something very specific like he does. Just like something that's pretty common, like Spanish or like French, you know, or Italian, something like that. Yeah. And speak a couple phrases. That would be really handy.
It would be very cool. Spanish would be a very cool one. I just think it would be. I've always wanted to learn an obscure language, something like Russian. Something not many people speak,
like Greek. No, German.
Like, or even just like Gaelic. I've always thought about Gaelic.
Gaelic would be cool.
Which is like Irish. Like traditional Irish.
Well, my
language.
name's Irish.
And we both come from an Irish background.
Create everyone says my joke is Sean, S-E-A-N, but because it's in Gaelic, it's pronounced Sean. That's why it's so interesting, because Gaelic would be really cool. It's like, that's sort of like a dying language.
There's a bunch of Irish names like that, like Siobhan and Saoirse. Saoirse, like it's spelled.
It's a lot of
Cersei.
A lot of
But yeah, I just think I'd love to learn a language.
Languages are cool, man. Remember when we booked the Japan trip, and then a few of us were like, "Yeah, we're gonna learn a bit of like Japanese before we go."
I knew a little bit.
I knew how to say hello and thank you very much.
I think the biggest thing that
and that's all I needed to do.
Well, I learned from just doing it in year 7. I learned a lot about how you pronounce their sounds. So like you might say like Ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah. Like if you read it out in English, like it kind of phonetically it sounds like that.
Yeah.
But after you learn a little bit of the language, like from someone that speaks it, which I did in high school, it's very like Ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah. Like you kind of twist how it's. Like, it's not exactly phonetic, but no. I think I found that I was...
It's not one for one, like English.
Yeah, no. I was like maybe a little bit better than some of you guys at, like, pronouncing some of the stuff and asking...
Oh, really? You're a bit better than us?
I think a little bit.
Well, my girlfriend's Greek, and both of her parents speak Greek.
Right.
And I was meeting her grandmother the other day, and they obviously speak full Greek. Full Greek. And she speaks a little bit of English.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's the same thing because she would say something and the mum would try and translate it, but she'd be like, it's not a direct translation. You can't just go, this is what it means in English. Sometimes there's just words that just don't translate. You just have to describe it rather than, you know what I mean? And also, that's why it's a bit...
Yeah, there's also little things like verb order.
Yeah.
Or like adjective order. Like things don't make sense. Like they'll put the...
We studied English for what, like 13, 12 years or something?
Yeah, but you don't learn about many things like that. Like, did you know there's an order of adjectives?
Yeah.
How there's like, if I was to say, there's a
shit. I have no idea.
If I was to say there was a big blue car.
Yeah.
That sounds normal. But if I was to say there's a blue big car, sounds a little bit off, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I mean?
Why is there an order?
That's the thing. Like,
no one knows.
There just is. Like, it was decided in like kind of old English that was the order of. There's an order of adjectives. There's like size, color, texture, like a bunch of things like that.
Yeah.
That you follow, but because we were raised with it, we don't realize that it was taught to us. Because it's just the way people speak.
It might be a bit too hard to just throw in. Hey, there's an order of these, by the way.
But when you actually think about like when in conversation, if someone pulls out some adjectives that are in the wrong order, then I can immediately tell. And I'm like, I don't know why that's wrong, but it sounds wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of one thing that's very difficult in English to teach is like tense. So past, present, and future tenses of things.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be like, he went to the shops, he's gone to the shops,
he was at the shops.
Like they're three different sentences, almost like with different words.
Yeah.
But they
mean the same thing.
The same much. Action. Yeah. Someone went to shops.
But it's what time.
Yeah, but it's all about tense and things. Yeah. And that's why a lot of foreign speakers, like when you imitate them, you'll imitate by using the wrong tense.
Yeah.
And like that's one of the big things.
Yeah, they're so dumb, am I right, guys? Yeah. Well, English, I have heard that English is one of the hardest languages to learn, but I don't know if that's true or not.
But it's because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's because
it's the same thing with like, I think it's Spanish, where everything has a male and a female. So something's either a male or a female.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah. But like to someone that speaks it,
that's
makes
normal.
Perfect
that's just
sense kind of thing.
Tense, time.
You just took two words that sound similar.
I speak another language. It's the Sean language.
Have you seen those made up languages? Oh, I guess all languages are made up, but like, but those ones that are like,
what's that from? All languages are made up. That's from Infinity War. Do you remember when Thor was like,
that's a made up word.
All words are made up. What were you saying?
There's like gibberish. Like gibberish is kind of a real thing, and it's where you kind of swap syllables and repeat them.
Yeah.
So like smile will be like smimimily, or like. But if you do that for a sentence, gibberish. You can't tell what someone's saying unless you understand how it works.
You translate it.
It's like Pig Latin. Eshe adlay.
What does that mean?
Sesh lad.
Yeah.
Like that, not that long ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like eat-swa is sweet.
Yeah, sweet. Anyways.
Telling I'm doing eat-swa. So stupid. Anyways, are we wrapping it up?
I know we said this was going to be a long episode, but sitting here talking, it's felt very long.
Well, you just took your tonsils out, so you might be a little sore.
Yeah, I don't think.
And the grand final's on in half an hour. So
okay, well I'll let you. We'll wrap it up. Actually, should we do gossip?
Oh yeah, we'll do gossip.
So Catherine,
we've got time for
during
some
lockdown. She sent a message that basically said, "When you guys are back, here's some gossip for you all."
We miss you, Catherine.
Now she was talking about where is it? Instagram. Here we go. Now she was talking about Catherine. That is about her same boss. No, her same co-worker, the one that received head in the back room.
Yep.
And was also
I know the one.
Also selling cocaine in the car park lot.
Yep, I'm very
car
familiar.
Parking lot. Okay, yeah. This same guy, he for some whatever reason, he's notorious for coming late or not coming in at all, just not showing up for his shifts. Classic cocaine dealer.
That's a classic cocaine dealer for you.
And she's basically said, so, but for some reason the owner loves him, so he doesn't get fired. So
I wonder why. It's almost as if he's selling something.
So it was Saturday night, and one of the other co-workers tells me that the manager is leaving early to watch some big fight, like a UFC fight.
Yep.
And we were like, he's already fucked up 4 orders.
Wow, that's a lot of orders.
So he's messed up orders, and he's leaving early. So he's jumping shit, basically.
What the hell?
Anyways, our other manager was rightfully mad because she was working a double, and he had only been there 3 hours when he left.
Wow.
So she texted the owner and asked, did you say it was okay for dipshit to leave at 8? She's paraphrasing on the name.
Dipshit, yep. Fair enough.
And the owner said no. He didn't authorize that.
And just left.
So he basically just lied to all of us so he could go home and watch the fight. I'm not sure why he chose to lie that we could, in fact, and that, you know, it's so easy for us to check.
Yeah, I know.
He would have been better off just saying, he would have been better off just saying he didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And just going home sick.
Yeah, I know. He could have just gone, I'm going home to go see the UFC fight. But hopefully it was a good UFC fight.
Yeah, you'd
you wouldn't want to go for a lame one and be like, I almost lost my job.
Imagine was like, I've got to go watch the fight, guys. And it was like, understandable, it's a good fight tonight.
I feel sick. Bye. That's not hard. I just could have done that.
But even still, like, the confidence you need to have to just like outright do something like that?
Or is it just ignorance? You have no idea.
I can't tell.
I don't know either.
That's the thing with people that probably aren't that bright. It's like you can't tell if
they're ignorant.
Are they confident, or do they just not know people are
or
watching?
do they just don't? Yeah, like are they genuinely stupid, or are they actually really smart and they're just like getting away with it?
Yeah. Because I feel like
I know some stupid people. I'll ask them.
But if you're that type of person that's just realized that, like, I can just get away with this shit.
That's what I'm saying. He's probably just going,
you're
you're
almost smart, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Catherine,
exactly.
you should strive more to be like this guy.
Catherine, be more stupid. That's what we're asking. That's the moral of the story. Episode 67 of the Young Crumbs podcast.
That was us
brought
this
to you
week.
by dumb people.
I thought you were wrapping it up.
Oh, no. I was just saying it's brought to you by dumb people. But we'll end on that note.
Yeah.
That was
Guys,
some
it's
old
great
gossip.
to be back.
So please message us, Catherine, about
Catherine,
what's next.
we'll be back next week. We're not lying this time. We promise we'll be back.
We'll be back next week.
Next week, everything opens up.
We'll get active We'll get active on the socials again. We'll post some stuff.
I'll put up like
Which
a
vaccine
story.
did you get?
That's great. I wanna know.
Moderna, Pfizer, or Astra?
See, it's weird. I didn't even know like what vaccines there were before we even started. Before we went to lockdown.
Right. Didn't know what options we had.
I didn't know. Like I wasn't even bothered. But
I just had an idea, right?
Yeah. What?
Okay, imagine, picture this, right?
Yeah.
This is an animated TV show. This is an original. A scientist who made the AstraZeneca vaccine, right?
Mr. Astra.
His son dies.
Ooh.
Okay. And they decide there's a hole in the heart, so he makes himself a robot son. And what does he call him?
Astra
Boy.
All right. This has been episode 67 of the Young Crumbs podcast. My name's been Michael. And my name's been Sean. You can follow me at Sean_Bull99.
I'm MOB_Y_Dick.
That's Moby Dick.
That's it.
Follow us at the Young Crumbs podcast. No spaces, no dots, no underscores. One big fat word. It's good to be back. Thanks. Hopefully everyone missed Michael's lame jokes.
Did you watch
pathetic.
Astro Boy?
Shut up. Bye-bye.